Hello, Year 6. Welcome to Friday's science lesson, should I say. So we've obviously been doing a lot of work linked to the geography, linked to Brazil, and we've finished that yesterday. And as an introduction to our science topic, we're going to do a little comprehension reading task about Charles Darwin. Now, just as you would if it was a guided reading task or whatever else, can you make sure you apply the same comprehension skills to this work as you would in that lesson? So I'm going to read the text here, and then I'll explain how to go about answering the questions. Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin was born on the 12th of February 1809. He is most famous for being the English naturalist who first suggested the idea of natural selection. As a child, Darwin was a disappointment to his father. He regularly failed to engage at school. His father famously wrote, "You care for nothing but shooting, dogs, and rat-catching, and you will be a disgrace to yourself and all your family." Part of the problem was Darwin's love for natural history. However, to appease his father, he attempted to study medicine at Edinburgh University. He tried his hardest, but was far too squeamish for the bloody nature of the course. After that, he tried his hand at studying law, but left after he found it dull. In the end, he left university with a degree in divinity from Cambridge. From there, the natural course of action would have been for Darwin to take up a position as a vicar in a small village somewhere. In fact, that was what Darwin seemed set to do before an offer came along that would change his life. Robert Fitzroy was the young captain of a ship named the HMS Beagle. The boat was a research vessel, and Darwin was offered the chance to join them on their next voyage. He was unpaid and was mainly there to keep the captain company. Aside from entertaining the captain, Darwin had another benefit to the ship. Fitzroy was determined to find the evidence around the world that the Bible's story of God creating the world was true. Darwin's degree in divinity made him the perfect choice to help with this. In the end, this proved to be a very ironic decision. The voyage on the Beagle lasted from 1831 to 1836. During that time, Darwin was able to collect enough scientific specimens to make him a celebrity when he returned, to keep him busy until he died. He uncovered fossils, survived natural disasters, and discovered new species. Some people often confuse Darwin with coming up with the idea of evolution. He didn't. The idea of evolution was already well known by the time he set foot on the HMS Beagle. What Darwin did was to realize that animals with a specific advantage, a bigger beak, sharper teeth, faster speed, etc., were more likely to be successful and live longer, and more importantly, pass the same trait on to their offspring. In other words, it was survival of the fittest, although Darwin didn't actually use that phrase. In later life, Darwin suffered from a series of illnesses. By the time he died in 1882, he was unable to work for any length of time and resorted to increasingly obscure treatments, including ice baths and giving himself small electric shocks. The world was very nearly denied Darwin's theory. He knew that his ideas were directly against the views of his religious faith and that it would upset most of the country. In 1844, he locked his ideas away and moved on. It wasn't until somebody else very nearly published their own version of the idea that Darwin finally moved forward with On the Origin of a Species. So there's a bit of a background to Charles Darwin, and he's going to link very nicely into our work on science. In fact, he is the scientist that is linked to our year group that we need to learn about. So you can see there are some questions underneath. Now, these are the same as the ones that are on your sheet. There are 5 questions about the vocabulary. Okay, and if you want help with those, you could use a dictionary, you could use your iPad or a tablet or whatever else you have to search for the definitions of those words, just to help you with it. Okay, not all of them are giving a definition. Some of the time you have to find a word, but if you're struggling with it, using a dictionary or a search engine to help with definitions will certainly give you a bit of support. And then there are some questions below. Now, a lot of them are simple. Here, if it's an R at the front here, it's a retrieval. So in our case, we'd refer to those as a literal question, wouldn't we? Okay. Here we do have an inferential question. So it's going to take a bit more of an ape approach answer. Okay. How has the author used examples to make the point clearer? An evaluative question. So again, use your APE approach to make sure you answer that clearly. Write the subjects that Darwin studied at university in order. So what you're doing there is sequencing. So again, that is a retrieval question. So out of those 5 there, only 2 of them should actually require an APE approach answer, but make sure you do what is necessary to get your answer across and make it clear. Good luck, and I hope you enjoy finding out about Charles Darwin. I will also put a video link to a little mini biography about him onto Seesaw, so that if you have a bit of time and you'd like to find out more about him, you can watch that.